Hi, good afternoon. I didn't see you last class. Yash.
Ma'am, actually, I was having the client meeting in Hyderabad, so I have to travel for the Hyderabad.
Oh, okay. No problem. Rashi, hi. Can I see your face, please? Hello.
Yeah, hi, I'm Rashi.
Hi, Rashi. Why weren't you there in the last class?
So yeah, my college hours till 5, so I had a class at that point.
Okay. All right. No
Yeah.
problem. No problem. Okay. Did everybody get that PDF? That document? Yes, the presentation in the form of PDF. So except Rashi and Yash, did everybody else go through the case study? Yes, a very dull yes. Abir, did you go through the case study? No. Okay. Do you want me to open it right now? Should we just discuss?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll open that presentation then. Okay. Can everybody look at the screen? Is it?
Yeah, ma'am.
Would you be able to read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So all those who have read also and all those who haven't, just give it a quick read. We will discuss this case study and then only move forward today. Okay. Chanchal, you've read it? Okay. Sorry. Okay. Are you all done with the first page?
Yeah, ma'am.
Rashi? Yash?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. Abir? Are you done? Abir read? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Second page, please. Okay. Are we all done? This was actually supposed to be a little bit of homework there. Okay. Chanchal, let's start with you because I assume you're the only one who's read it beforehand. So what all do you think she did wrong in terms of etiquette? Okay.
She did not dress formally.
Okay. What else? That's it?
And she was late.
Okay.
No. She was using a phone also during the meeting.
She was checking her WhatsApp
Yeah,
messages.
WhatsApp and
Yes.
everything.
What else? Okay, now Abir, tell me what other things did she do wrong? Except her dress up, except that she missed the second appointment because she was late. Then, as she said, Chanchal said that she was looking at the WhatsApp messages and whatever. What else did she do wrong? Abid, unmute yourself, please.
Ma'am, she got all of her normal duties done prior. Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, anyone who wants to answer? Vinita, would you like to answer? Apart from all these 3 points, what else can you think of?
Yeah, one thing is she placed her bag on the table. I think
Absolutely. This is a very important thing for all the women here. Whenever you go for an important meeting or an interview, you never place your bag up on the table, not the right etiquette. Okay. And you place it, close to your chair on the left-hand side generally. And even if you go to a restaurant with friends, so if you're sitting on a table of 4 and it's just the 2 of you, there is space on extra chairs. So you place your bags there. In case there is no extra space, then please place your bag down on the floor. There is no other option. Keeping it on your lap or keeping it on your side with the side arms of the chair is not right etiquette. Okay, unless it's a very small bag, a clutch or something, and you can place it on the lap and then put the napkin on it, that makes sense. Nothing more than that. All right. Okay.
and
What
another thing, she missed the 4:30 p.m.
Yeah, that we said.
appointment.
She was late.
Yeah. Another one, I'm not sure whether it is inappropriate because she's an LIC agent. She was asking age, qualification, personal details.
No, you're right, Vinita. It is not an appropriate question to ask, but because she was an LIC agent, so we will not pinpoint in this particular case study.
Okay.
Because it's her job, it's her profession to do that.
Right.
Yeah. So that way, let her be. It's okay.
Yeah.
Let her ask those questions. All
I
right.
think that's all I could find. Yeah.
That's fine. Nishiana, would you like to add? What all did she do right?
I think only thing she did right was she waited till the client asked her to sit. I guess.
Okay, one can be that. Anything else? That's all you think that she did right. There must be something more than that. Yash, would you like to try? Rashi? Those people who were not there in the last class, but at least you can try, talk about the this thing.
Okay, so one more mistake I
Okay, the wrongs.
came across.
The don'ts.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So
tell.
overall, I felt that this was a very unprofessional sort of behavior or attitude she was showing. More than that, also, I felt in the last part she missed to reschedule the appointment or per se. She was supposed to be there at 4 and she's there at 4:30.
Sweetheart, she can reschedule only if she is there physically available to reschedule.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
You
she
need to
just
understand.
sort of
Yes.
escaped from it.
No, that's okay. We've already taken that into consideration that was one of the wrongs she did. But
Yeah.
she's an LIC agent. The person we are talking about is a HNI, which is a high net worth individual. So it is the need of the hour for that LIC agent to get a client like that, not for that
Yeah.
client to get that LIC agent. That client
Yeah,
can
that's
get
what
hundreds of LIC agents.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
She should have been there available again to have that appointment,
Right.
made that I mean, I didn't feel that she had that sort of effort to have that appointment
No,
again.
you're right, but had she had that responsibility to be there on time, if at all you have any concerns or you cannot attend a meeting, then she could have rescheduled it, provided she remembered what the time was. She was so busy doing
Yeah.
her own personal work. Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
absolutely, Rashi, you are right there. Okay, another thing, one thing which nobody pointed out was that she took a call. Okay, can anyone tell me that taking the call is one of the do's or the don'ts? As in,
Since she's
Ma'am, it's a don't,
excusing
ma'am.
herself.
okay, one at a time. Okay, Nishana, you go first.
Okay, she did excuse herself, so I think it is fine because sometimes there will be emergencies.
Yes.
We
Okay.
cannot avoid it.
Abir, what do you want to add on to this?
Ma'am, I just said, ma'am, it's not appropriate, but she has excused herself. That's all.
Okay.
Ma'am, I was good.
Somebody
Okay,
else was also talking. Did I miss someone? Was somebody else answering this question?
No, I was just saying that she was excusing herself, so taking the call should have been okay after excusing.
Okay, now I'm going to give you the answer. Taking the call was one of the right thing also, and not the wrong thing also. Okay, how? First of all, because she's sitting in a very important meeting. For her, an HNI meeting was a very important meeting. She shouldn't have taken that call. Okay, first and foremost. But yet again, if it is an urgent call that you cannot avoid, she did excuse herself. That is what she did right. Okay, so first you try not to take a call. In such an important meetings, you should ideally not do that. And the second thing that she did was that she did excuse herself. She did take permission. Okay, one more thing she did right. Can anyone please make out? She began the conversation by what?
Greeting him in his language.
Absolutely. That was one thing which added on, which is a positive. I know it is not really etiquette, but you kind of connect there because of that. So she knew that this is the person with a similar, same language or same background. So she did try to connect with him on that. Okay. So I think we've covered more or less all of them. So now after doing this case study, do you all, whoever attended the class last time, do you feel any better in terms of understanding etiquette? Yes. If I give you more case studies like this, would you enjoy? Yes. Okay. So let's start the topic for the day, which is tea etiquette and dining etiquette. Okay. So I will just share the PPT on tea etiquette. Okay. So tea etiquette. Okay. Let me start with little history there. Okay. Does anyone know the difference between high tea and this thing? What do you call that? High tea or evening tea, afternoon tea. What is the difference? Anyone? With the difference between the afternoon tea, somebody calls it afternoon tea, somebody calls it the high tea. What is the difference? No one? You don't want to try? Just give it a try. Anyone? No. Okay. Okay. So, yes, please do try.
I don't know if it's completely correct, but usually after lunch and all, they usually have this tea
Mhm.
for networking.
According to you, that is afternoon tea. And what is high tea then?
Okay, that I'm not sure.
Okay, no problem. Okay,
High tea
yes.
and, in the evenings, no, between
Yes.
after
Okay.
5 or so.
Okay, so you are both more or less correct. Now I'll just give you a brief background in terms of the history. So how it started was in the 1840s, there was this Duchess of Bedford. Okay, now she started with the concept of afternoon tea. Now this was obviously the Duchess I'm talking about, so it was the high class. Now she said that after the, in between the lunch and supper, I am feeling hungry and I want to have a cup of tea with some snacks. And it became a very big affair when she started inviting her friends for this tea party. Okay, so that's why this was around after the lunchtime, which was around 4 o'clock or something. Okay, so then they used to have this 3-tier stand and have the snacks on that and all those things. And also they used to have it on those low tables. These days we have those low tables, which we call coffee tables. Yeah, so they used to have this tea ceremony on the low tables. That's why it was called an afternoon tea or a low tea. Okay, but at the same time, I'm talking about 1840s, how the concept began. So there was a middle class also. Okay, now they used to work like 9 to 5 or whatever their timings was. So when they used to come back home and they used to have dinner, now they wanted a cup of tea with the dinner. So their dinner was like a heavy dinner. So they're having those meat and the potatoes and all those things. Like it's a heavy meal, and then they're having that a cup of tea with it. Okay, so that is why, and they used to have that on the dining tables because they were having their dinner with it. So at the high table when they were having tea, and in the evenings, okay, so the timing would be in the supper timings, like 5 to 7 इसलिए बोला जाता है because that time, because the English do have the concept of having an early dinner, right? So they used to have it like 5 to 7. That is why it is called high tea. So it's the concept started with the table height. So dinner table पे ले रहे हैं, it's high. So that is why that was high tea. Dinner के timing पे ले रहे हैं. And then that afternoon tea was had on the low tables. So that is why it was called afternoon tea or low tea. But now what has happened is generally, are you all from Delhi or different?
I'm from Delhi only.
Okay. How about
I'm
the
from Kanpur, ma'am.
okay.
Bangalore.
Okay.
I'm
Bangalore.
from Bilaspur.
Bilaspur. Okay, so I will just tell you the Delhi culture a little. Here, what they do is they do a lot of birthday parties for kids, and then in the invite, they'll write, "We are inviting you for a high tea." Okay, so the concept is like they've just taken the name high tea because according to them, high tea is like a classy affair. Okay, so then this is what the typical Delhiites, or I can even call it Punjabis, flaunting their culture or whatever. Okay, so this is just that they've taken a term from anywhere. But ideally, if you want to know the logic I've given you. And if you want to have tea in the afternoon, you call it afternoon tea. And if you want to have it in the evenings, you call it high tea. But a lot of time, you know what happens? They do these parties where with tea, they serve dinner also. So that is why they officially call it high tea, or they have very heavy snacks. You know, something like chole bhature, pav bhaji happening in the evening. So which is again high tea because it's almost dinner like that. Okay, so let's quickly acquaint ourselves with the equipment. Okay, everybody knows like what all is used. There's a teapot. Okay, there is a creamer, which is the milk pot. Then there is a sugar bowl. Then there is obviously a pitcher of hot water for those who don't want, you know, you want to use a tea bag or something like that, not with the tea leaves. So this is just hot water. Then there is a plate of lemon slices. So I hope everybody understands this basic. Okay,
Yes,
can anyone tell me what is the difference? Nowadays, you don't see a coffee pot anywhere. Since the time the concept of cafe coffee day, barista, Starbucks, everything has come. So we don't see really coffee pots. But you know how the concept started was, okay, anybody who has small kids at home? Yes, no? No one? So nobody's heard that nursery rhyme. I am a little teapot, short and stout. Yeah? No? Okay. So the Chanchal is smiling. Okay, one person has heard the nursery rhyme. Okay, so that is the difference between a teapot and a coffee pot. It's short, it's stout. Okay, and the coffee pots are lean. Oh, sorry, that was the teapot. I'm sorry, I just said the wrong way. The teapot is short and stout, and the coffee pot is tall and lean. Okay, and the concept of the tea cups also started from China, where it used to be said that you know, the cup should be not more than for 30 ml. Okay, and the you know, the mouth of the cup should be broad, so that whenever you pour a very hot tea, it comes to a normal room temperature faster. Okay, that was the logic how it started. So that's why the cups were like that, small and with a broader mouth, whereas the coffee cups were just the standard normal coffee cups. But now the coffee cups, if you see in Cafe Coffee Day, Barista, or these chain Starbucks and all, they are with very broad mouths. You know why? Because of the latte design that they want to do over it, right? I'm sure everybody has seen that. Okay, and along with this, for high tea, we have the 3-tier stand, which I've shown you. So on the 3-tier stand, this is the way the concept started. Generally, on the lowest layer, you have your sandwiches. Now, these are all finger foods, sandwiches, then scones, then on the top layer, scones. Okay, what are scones? Anybody? Again, it's a British concept, so the scones is also coming from there. Okay, it's a sweet bread. Okay, it's a bread which is made by egg and milk and sugar. Okay, and this is something that you're supposed to have with either blotted cream or jam. That's why they're called scones. Okay, and on the top layer, you can have pastries, cupcakes. Again, there is no hard and fast rule. This is the way it started. But I'm sure a lot of us, we do have these stands. If there are two there, not the 3-tier stand, then it is also called a Princess Gate. Okay, so on these stands, we can display anything that we have, any kind of snacks. Now these days, people serve the Indian snacks also. You know, you can probably have a samosa or a dhokla on one of these 3-tier stands, and then serve tea along with it. So I'm just telling you how the concept began. So then how it started was like this. The sandwiches had to be on the lowest layer. All right. Okay, let's come to the tea cups, how to hold them and what else to be done. For this, I would want you to watch a short video. Okay. So I'll just share that video with you first. It's a video that I've made on myself for you to just understand the concept a little better. Okay, the volume is not very high, so just have a look at it. Wherever you're not able to understand anything, I'll take care of it. Okay, is everybody able to see the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, I have put it on maximum volume, but the volume is still a little low. Hi, hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about tea etiquette. For that, let's understand our equipment first. So this is our saucer, a cup, and this is a teaspoon. Then we have a tea pot here. The difference between a teapot and a coffee pot is the teapot is generally short and stout, whereas the coffee pot is taller and it's lean. And this here is a sugar pot where we have the sugar cubes, or we can also have a pot with the sugar sachets in it. And this is a creamer where we have the milk in it. All right. And generally in a tea etiquette or a high tea party, we do have a 3-tier stand where we start with the sandwiches at the lower level. Then we have spoons at the second level. And right now we have kept some muffins. And at the third level, we have some pastries or cupcakes. Okay, so let's start with the process. Let's learn how to hold a teacup and a saucer. Okay, this a saucer. This is the rim of the saucer, and we hold it by the left hand, and the thumb is supposed to hold the saucer like this, and the other fingers are placed behind with little distance between them. So once you have maintained a grip on the saucer, then you place the cup over it. And how are you supposed to hold the cup? With the index finger and the thumb, and the other fingers are supporting it. Why? Because so that a stronger grip is made so that you don't end up spilling it. Okay, so let's come to the process. Now we start. Okay, I just want to add on to this. I have the same cup here. If you could see, sometimes the cup is size is smaller. As I said, in the Chinese started the concept with the smaller cup. So then that way you can, it was like you can pinch the, like, you know, how you pinch someone with these 2 fingers and the thumb, then you hold the cup like this, like you're pinching someone. If it is lighter and it's not as heavy, then only you do that. Else, if it's a bigger cup, then you maintain a proper grip. Start with holding the tea pot, and do not try to hold the lid with the right thumb because it will end up spilling the tea all over the place. So try to hold it with the left hand, and now pour tea for about 3/4 of the cup. Now, after you pour 3/4 of the cup, assuming that you are the host, we first ask the guest in case they want the tea with a slice of lemon and sugar in it or with milk. In case they want milk, then it's better always to ask whether they want very strong tea or not. Okay, so now I'm going to pour a little bit milk in it, depending on the need of the guest. And the most important thing, once we open the sugar pot, and we put 1 cube or 2 cubes as per the guest requirement in the tea. Always remember, this teaspoon is supposed to be back in the sugar pot and not used for stirring the tea, because we are already given 1 teaspoon with the tea cup and the saucer. Now we are going to stir the tea from 6 to 12 direction. We are not going to make much noise. Okay, so something very, very normal that we don't take care of. What we end up doing is we mix it like this and we make a lot of noise. right? So going by the clock, 6 o'clock, if suppose the needle is at 6 o'clock and then 12 o'clock, so we move the spoon in that direction, okay? We move it just 3 to 4 times and we do it very softly because I don't have any liquid in it. That's why it's making noise. Otherwise, it will not. You know, if there is tea in it, it'll only help us dissolve the sugar. Okay, another very important thing that I have not mentioned in the video, that whenever we are adding sugar, okay, please make sure if it's a sugar cube, you do not do it in the center. You do it slightly towards the edge. Otherwise, agar center mein daloge to wo splash karegi tea वापस, you know, on you. So always just put it on one side. Okay. So these are very small things, but which are very important, which we generally don't take care of. And in a very important client meeting, and you know, we are doing all these things, this really is not visually appealing. When we are talking about etiquette, then we rather follow the right etiquette, right? Without making much noise, just stir 6 to 12, some 4 to 5 times, and keep the teaspoon back in the saucer behind the cup here, and the teaspoon and the handle of the cup should be placed in a parallel way in the 420 direction. Okay, very important. First of all, once you stir, you don't leave the spoon there. Okay, a lot of people, they try to drink like this, है ना? Because वो spoon भी manage कर रहे हैं, cup भी manage कर रहे हैं. You don't have to do that. Okay. Another thing, whenever you are stirring, उसके बाद people do this. है ना? We don't have to make this noise also. So we just do this. Okay, the extra tea will fall off from the spoon, but we don't need to do the clanking sound. Okay, so just do this, the extra falls off. Okay, now when I'm holding the cup, whatever the side the cup is facing towards me is the front, and jo mere ko nahi dikh raha hai, the back side is the back of the cup. So where do you keep the spoon? Behind the cup. Okay, and as I mentioned in the video, it has the handle of the cup and the spoon, they need to be parallel to each other. And parallel matlab kahin pe bhi parallel nahi ho sakta. As per the clock again, around 420. So just imagine where the needles come at 420 position. तो आपको वहां पे रखना है, the handle as well as the spoon. As in the 420 timing, the needles of the clock, the way they are, that is the way the teaspoon is supposed to be. Now, always remember the don'ts of the tea etiquette too. We are not going to stir in such a manner that it's going to make noise or do this clanking sound here, or leave the teaspoon like this upright in the cup. These are a big no-no, and they do not look very appealing visually. So take these points into consideration and leave the teaspoon back here in the saucer. And now you can enjoy the tea you've made. But remember, the pinky finger should not come out. Another thing that we need to know. Okay, before we go any further, I just mentioned in the video, a lot of people do this. Okay, so don't do that. This finger, last finger coming out. Okay, don't do that. And also, one very important thing. हम कहाँ कौन सी ऑफिशियल मीटिंग में बैठे हैं, we don't see that, and the only thing that we are doing is मलाई उतारी साइड में लगाई and then we are having the chai. Okay, so I would please request all of you, even if you are at home, at least use a spoon, then remove that malai and then keep it again back behind the cup. Okay, so if you're sitting in a formal situation, then all the more reason that you should take care of it. But even if you are at home, you should try and remove it with a spoon. Okay, so please don't do all that. It doesn't look good, and you will never learn etiquette that way. It's about the tea bag etiquette. Now, generally the tea bags are placed in the cup and then the cup is given to you. Or sometimes the tea bags, they come in pouches. So just stir one and place the tea bag in the cup and then pour hot water over it. Now make sure the tea bag is placed inside the cup for minimum to maximum 3 to 5 minutes, and that's about it. Otherwise, the tannic acid is released and the tea becomes bitter. So please make sure that it is there only for 3 to 5 minutes. And the steeping is done for only that much time, not more than that. Now, once the tea is done, how do you remove the tea bag? You need to take it to one side, drain it, and you can gently remove it with the spoon. If in case there is a separate saucer available, then place it there. If the saucer is not available, then you can place it on the side of the cup along with the spoon there. Now, in case while pouring this tea, whether the tea bag with the tea bag or the one with the tea leaves, you end up spilling on the saucer. Now, if it's a casual setting, you might just take a napkin and place it over the saucer and then place your cup over it. Or in case you spilled a lot, then you might want to ask for a new saucer. Now, enjoy your tea. Okay, more or less, I think I have covered all the points over there, but I'll just see once with the presentation, whatever bit is left, we'll do that. Okay, I've already told you about how to hold the teacup saucer and about the stirring. Okay, does anyone understand the French word faux pas? Faux pas.
Mistake, is it?
Yes, it is. Faux pas is actually any social embarrassment, but just to understand the basic English language also, it's like a don'ts of anything. So this is like a don'ts of tea etiquette. Like I said, don't get the pinky finger out, don't leave the spoon upright there. So something like that. And also in winters, what do we like to do? We are sometimes fiddling with it like this, you know, cradling it, or it's not wine, people. So don't keep swirling your tea and don't smell it like that. हाँ मम्मा तुलसी नहीं डाली ना आज फ्रेग्रेंस नहीं आ रहा आज अदरक नहीं है ना so this is not wine, you know, wine tasting steps has all that swirling, smelling and all that. This is just tea. So okay, do whatever at home, but at least not in the formal situations. All right, okay, now I've already told you about pouring the tea and also the faux pas for same. Let's come to the tea bag etiquette. Okay, tea bags generally, if the tea bags are there in the sachets, na, depending on the flavor, that it always mentioned at the back of the sachet that, you know, you're supposed to keep it inside the water for this much time. Depending on the flavor, it is always mentioned. If it is not mentioned, then as I said in the video, not more than 3 to 5 minutes, because then it releases a tannic acid and it is not good for us. Okay. Another thing, suppose somebody is having the tea bag tea, and as in you don't have the option of the other tea, you have only tea bag and you like to have very, very strong tea. Then what do? I told you can't put it for more than 3 to 5 minutes. Then what will you do? In that case, you put two.
Ma'am, I can take two.
Yes, absolutely. You can put 2 tea bags together. It will become a strong tea, but at the same time, don't keep it inside the water for longer. Okay. So that is all I wanted to say. And some people, they even like to fiddle with the tea bag. Wo spoon mein you roll karke side mein rakhte hain. Wo nahi karna hai. Okay. So I don't know why people do that, but that happens. Okay. And also at home, whatever you're doing, at least when you are in a formal meeting, please don't dunk your biscuits in it. Okay. So no matter what Oreo says in it, dunk the biscuits in milk. Okay. Don't dunk the biscuits or your rusk. And then you're looking for it. Oh, mera rusk gir gaya andar. And then you're looking for it. Please don't do that in formal meetings and parties. It doesn't look nice. Okay. So if it's a tea party, obviously it must be, you know, at a level where you have to follow the right etiquette. Okay. What happens is generally the host will offer you the teacup. Okay. Whether they're making it or whether it is coming from inside kitchen mein se pura ban ke aa raha hai, whatever. So now if I'm sitting and somebody just offered me tea, okay, now the table is right in front of me. So I do have the liberty to leave the saucer there and only pick up the cup. It's fine. All right. But suppose it's a big party. Some people are standing, some people are sitting at the table. Now somebody is handing it over the cup to me and I'm standing. When I'm standing, then I can't do this. Yari, kyun mujhe saucer pakda diya? I can't, I'm very comfortable with the cup and then you keep it on the table. No, it's a complete no. आप शादी में जाते हो, you like it or not, you pick up a heavy plate, no? And you're standing and eating, right? So why are you standing and eating? As in you have no other option. Sometimes there is no chair. Sometimes the sitting area is somewhere else. You are holding the plate, right? Similarly, when you're standing, then you have to hold the saucer and you have to manage the cup with that one hand and keep holding the saucer, whether you like to have it like this or not. Because nobody at home generally has, with the saucer and the cup, because you're so used to having just the cups and the mugs and whatever, right? So that's all I think for tea etiquette. If there is any question about tea etiquette, please ask. Otherwise, I'll move on to dining for the day. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So I'll stop sharing this and I shall just get back to you. Chanchal, what's happening with your connection? I'm admitting you again and again. Everything okay? Chanchal, why are there two coming?
I'm facing some internet issue. I've disconnected on my
Okay, so you need to disconnect yourself from at least one of them. Yeah.
I'm doing it. Sorry.
No, it's perfectly fine. Okay, can everyone look at it? Okay, these PPTs you will get, so you needn't write so much, but yes, whatever I'm saying, just get the gist of it. Last time also, whatever etiquette I did, the PDF was sent to you. I think everybody has got that. Okay, so Yash and Rashi, you can go through it in case there are any issues, because I did social etiquette, I did business etiquette. So whatever, if there is any issue in that, just we can get back on it sometime. Okay, I have further, I think 2 more classes with you in the next to next week. Okay,
Sure, thank you.
no problem. Okay, now tell me, why do we need to understand dining etiquette at the first place? Why is it so important?
Because we want to have pleasant experience while dining.
Okay, is it only the good experience for our own selves, or is it to do with the people around judging us also?
To make others comfortable and be comfortable
Oh,
ourselves.
very good, Nishana. That's the big round of applause for remembering etiquette and definition. Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel proud of myself. I did a good job. Okay, yes. For Yash and Rashi, who were not there in last class, etiquette, the basic definition is you being comfortable around others and making others comfortable around you, which is what Nishana just mentioned. Okay. So even when we talk about dining etiquette, so in case I am the one who's chewing nonstop with my mouth open and, I am not minding my manners and anything. So would people like to dine with me? No. And suppose it's a very important business meeting that I'm holding while dining with someone, whether it's lunch or whether it's even meeting somebody for coffee or tea, and most of my business decisions are dependent on it. The deals are being closed or not is dependent on my dining etiquette. Now, do you think dining etiquette is important? Yes, it is. It is very, very important. Okay, so just to understand why are we talking about dining etiquette? Okay, these are the things we are going to do. Oh, I don't have a napkin here. You have to just excuse me for a minute. I'll just be back. Is the screen still this thing?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, still visible to you, the presentation, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were talking about what are we going to do? We are going to talk about the cutlery and napkin etiquette, and we are going to talk about the different meal courses. And why do we need to talk about dining etiquette? I think we have already done that, because we are continuously being evaluated on the basis of how we are eating. We are forming an impression continuously, and it also talks about your confidence. It shows that, and your awareness, how much do you know about the right etiquette? All right. Okay. In a dining situation, everybody knows that there is going to be always going to be a host and a guest, whether it's a business meeting or whether it's a, a casual social general dinner outside with friends. Then also there is a host, mostly that there is a host and there's guest, unless few friends have gone out together. Suppose me and my husband, we are hosting a party and we are calling a lot of people. So we are the host, right? And the others would be the guest. So why we are talking about the host and guest is because there are certain duties which a host needs to do, and there are certain preparations from the guest side what needs to be done. So as a host, okay, if it's a business meeting, okay, and I take my client, I book a Chinese restaurant and I take the client to a Chinese restaurant, and I've booked a place for two or whatever, and then there I go and I figure out that he's allergic to Chinese food. Is that the right thing to do? No. So before sending an invite or whatever, I need to check with my guest that whether they are okay with it or not. So why do you think we generally these days we have restaurants which have like different cuisines together? So if they have
Multi-cuisine.
Indian, yeah, multi-cuisine, Indian, Chinese, and continental, everything together at one under one roof. Okay, so now as a host, it is my duty to arrive there early and to wait for my guests to make the reservations. Now, if it's a business meeting, then you have to be a little careful. You see whether the table that I have reserved, it should not be very close to the main door, the main gate. So, there is a lot of noise happening. And how do I handle my business meeting? So it should be, once you enter the restaurant, to one side in the corner where we can just discuss business. Okay, these are the small things that the host should take care of. Similarly, as a guest, okay, who understands what is RSVP? Does anyone know the meaningful form of RSVP?
Répondez s'il vous plaît.
Yes, respondez s'il vous plaît. It's a French word. Okay, generally now people have started using it so badly. In the wedding cards, they write RSVP and itne sare names hote hain usme niche. Okay, what it actually means is respondez s'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît is please. Okay, s'il vous plaît means please in French. So respond means respond please. Okay. So what it means is when I'm sending an invite as an host to you, and the guest is just supposed to reply back. It is like you are just supposed to tell us that, yes, I confirm I will be there for dinner, or I will be there for coffee or whatever, or I'm so sorry, but I cannot make it. Okay. And the other duty that the guest has is to be there on time and just look at the presentation. So no matter if it's a business or meeting or a social meeting, the host is supposed to sit on that chair where H is written, on those two chairs. Like I said, suppose it's me and my husband, we are hosting a meeting. So I will sit at one of the H chairs and the other person will sit at H2. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Ideally, this should be done. Whether it is taken care of or not, I don't know. Whether most of the people are not aware of these rules. The logic is that I, being the host, I can take care of people on my right, on my left. And so if the other host is sitting on that corner, he'll be able to cater to the people sitting close to him. Okay, so it is just that, nothing more than this. So I can take care of people within my, those who are closer to me and, in my reach, I should say. Similarly, so if my husband is sitting on the H2, so maybe he is able to take care of people over there. Now, if it is a business meeting, now I am the host and I have called probably, one of you, Nishiana, I have called her for a meeting for, I'm probably going to do a business meeting with her and we are going to end up, talking. So I'm the one who's invited Nishiana. I will make her sit at that chair which says guest of honor. Can everybody see that? So this is exactly on my right, and if I'm sitting at the host chair, I give my guest of honor that particular chair because my body language towards that position is more comfortable and it's a more easily accessible place. So I make my guest of honor sit there so that the conversation can happen in a better way. Nothing more than that. This ideally should be done. Whether people do it or not is another thing. Okay, now I want you to watch that video. After that, we will discuss whatever is left. Okay. Let's talk about dining etiquette now. So wherever you're at a fancy restaurant or even at your place at the dining table.
Ma'am, cannot see the video.
Yeah. 1 second. I'm just sharing. Just 1 second. I was just finding the right video, nothing else. There are a lot of videos in my laptop, nothing more than that. Okay, just one step has been missed. It just says that whenever you go to a fancy restaurant, you pull a chair, you rather not drag it, you pick it up if it is not that heavy, and then you sit in from the left and then you move in from the right. Okay, now everybody switched off the cameras and it looks like I'm talking to a blank screen. It is not really good. Okay, please just have a look at the video. Thank you so much. Now, suppose this formal dinner is happening at your place. Just make sure the tablecloth here is at least hanging here from at least 12 to 18 inches. And the table mat here is placed at least 1 inch to 2 inch from the edge of the table. At least a gap of 1 to 2 inches from the table. Now, at the mat, how are you going to place all these things? Starting from the left, we have forks. This is a salad fork. This is a main course fork. Then we have the plate. And then over the plate, we have the napkin, or sometimes we can even place it on the left-hand side with or without the napkin ring. Then we have the knife. Also remember, the sharper side of the knife will also be facing towards the plate. Then we have the main course spoon, and in the end, we have a soup spoon here. The water glass, the goblet would be placed here. The dessert spoon and the dessert fork will be placed at the top of the plate. Okay, now also remember. Okay, I have not mentioned this, for it's a very simple way to remember. I think the ladies here would be doing that job for just for your information. If you don't remember how to place it on the mat, then it's the word forks. F-O-R-K-S. So F is fork, on my left is fork, O represents the plate. Okay, leave the R, just cancel the R. K is the knife, the sharper side of the knife towards the plate. S is spoon. So by going by the word, the alphabets of the word fork, okay, forks. So that is how you're going to place it on the mat. Okay, kabhi yaad nahi rehta hai, and if people are coming at home, so sometimes, you know, it has happened. I've gone to somebody's house and the fork is on the right. No, that's wrong. The logic is wrong. Okay, go by the word forks. Everybody understood this? F-O-R. No, don't go by R. F-O-K-S. Okay, so just skip the R. All right.
Yes.
Remember that when you can't understand that which or what cutlery is to be used, if we go to a fancy restaurant where we are being offered 3 to 4 or probably even 6 to 7 course meals, we always go from the outside to the inside. So the first meal that we are going to be offered will be mostly soup or anything like a salad. Okay, did you understand this logic? So this is not a very formal setup. There would be restaurants where there'll be 2 to 3 knives and 2 to 3 forks kept. And when you can't understand which one to pick, then you always go from outside to inside. Okay, so the first course meal, either the soup has come or probably some salad has come. So for salad, you need a fork. Which fork will you pick up? The one which is on the outermost side, on the left-hand side, obviously on the outermost side. If you can't understand, suppose you've gone to a very, very British restaurant and there are so many forks and so many knives. So don't get confused. One tip is going from outside to inside. The second tip is, if you can't understand anything, follow the host. Okay. So the host generally will be sweet enough to guide you on a lot of things. Okay. Or anything. So then the soup spoon would be used. So that is from the outside to the inside. And if a salad comes before, so then we use the salad fork here. All right. So now, please understand that this setting that we have here is called the informal setting. Now, what is the difference between the informal setting and the formal setting? Just 2-3 more things are added in there. Close to the water goblet will be 2 more glasses here, which will be the red wine glass and the white wine glass. And also with the spoons on the right right hand side will be another fork, which is generally a seafood fork. So maybe for fish or oysters or anything like that. Okay. Now let's come to the napkin etiquette. Now when we go to the restaurant, we see the napkin there. You gently unfold it and you can open the entire thing and place it on your lap like this. Or in case the napkin is too big in size, then what do? I have a napkin here which is too big in size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it like this on my lap, where the opening of the napkin is towards me. And why do we do this? Is because whenever I'm going to have food and I'm going to have my hands dirty, I can quickly open one side of it and wipe my hands and then place it back over there and get back to my food. Okay, this logic you need to follow. When I said that you can open the entire thing and put it in the lap, ideally don't do that. Okay, even if it's smaller in size, if you can manage, you should always fold it and keep it. Open edges towards you. There is a logic to it. So open edges, you quickly take one edge and you wipe your hands. Agar aap pura khol ke dal doge and you're wiping your hands, ya to upar ki taraf, which is visually not good, not appealing. So the other person can look into your lap ki kitna ganda napkin hai, ya fir aap niche ki taraf karoge to then it can end up spoiling your very formal clothes. Okay, so the right way to do is this only, that you fold it and open edges towards you. All right. Okay, another important thing. Now similarly with the napkin etiquette, we need to know how do we wipe our mouth after we finish the meal. So we open this thing again, just pick up one bit of it. You take your index finger, you place the index finger like this and you very gently blot your mouth. So this is how you clean. And then after you're done with the meal, you gently fold it so that you make sure all the stains are inside and you place it on the left side of your plate, which means that you're done with the food. Okay, now one very important thing is after wiping yourself, do not place or crush the napkin and place it like that. Because all the other stains, the turmeric stains or the other stains will be seen by the others. Okay, this is a very common thing. A lot of men try to do that. Aise kara and then feng diya. Right side mein feng dete hain. Okay, so that is not to be done. You just gently fold it. I am not saying very neatly you have to iron it or anything. Just gently fold it and keep it on the left hand side. Very important. I don't know if I mentioned in the video. Another very important thing, in case you need to excuse yourself to the washroom in the middle of a meal, okay, then also you gently fold it and keep it on the chair. Like I'm going to get up on this from this chair and keep it on the chair and go. It's a non-verbal clue for the waiters that somebody is sitting here and has probably just gone to the washroom. Okay. So this is ideally something that you should do. Okay, if there's a big family and you're sitting on a sofa, then nobody's going to come and see that on the sofa whether you've kept the napkin or not. So obviously these things are dependent on the situation, the place and everything. Yes, but I'm just telling you the right etiquette. One follows it or not at the end of the day, up to you. Okay. Sitting on the table, which will not be very visually appealing. So just make sure you very gently fold it and keep it on the left hand side. Now, how do we use this cutlery? Okay. Now, the knife will definitely be in my right hand, as I am a right-hander. If you are a left-hander, the process reverses and the fork is in the left hand. So now, when we are going to cut anything, whether it's chicken, meat, or even cottage cheese, first I'm going to hold the fork upside down. I'm going to try to hold that food with the fork and then cut it with a knife with the right hand and take a bite of it and eat like this. Now, these are called the tines of the fork. So when I take a bite, the tines outside the back side of the fork should be visible to the other person. This is how we are going to eat. Now, suppose we've cut one bite and we take it in the fork like this. No, this is a complete no-no. It's a wrong way of eating. Yes, a lot of people do that mistake. I'm sure you all know how to cut a particular thing, but people tend to eat like this. This is wrong. It's supposed to be had like this. Okay. So when I take a bite of anything, whether whatever I'm eating with fork and knife, so this is the way I'm going to eat. This is going to be vertically there. Okay. If I'm eating some rice or something with my right hand, the fork in my right hand, then probably I can, eat like this. Does this posture look fine? Yes, this looks fine. But when I'm eating with my left hand, because I'm cutting by the right, because I have the knife in my right, so aise nahi kha sakte na. This is not right. Okay. So this is something that we need to take care of while eating. But suppose now there is, the main course does not require the knife. If it's probably rice, then you can use the fork with the right hand, take the rice in the fork and eat like this. Okay. Now, one more thing that you need to understand is the silent codes. Now, if I've gone to a restaurant and I'm also doing a business meeting while eating, so now I've finished with my portion. Now, this is the way I'm going to keep it for a pause. The knife and the fork, they're kept like this with a distance in between. This basically means that I've finished one portion of my meal and I'm now discussing business with my client or customer, whoever it is, and I will be eating further. So this is a very silent way of telling the waiter that do not take my plate away. So I'm pausing for the moment, but I'm not done. Also, now once the meal is done, then you place the fork and knife like this. Going by the needles of the clock, it will be the 10-20 position. We can either do this or we can even do this when we finish with the meal. Okay. Now this again we are doing because we are making the work of the waiters easy. Now once I place the knife and the fork like this, it is comfortable and easy for him to understand that he can take away my plate. Now the last thing is, in between the tines of the fork, if I place my knife like this and now place it over my plate, this is a silent way of telling the waiter that I did not enjoy my meal. Now, because these are very high fancy restaurants, the waiters will definitely pass on the message to the chef and they will come to know that we did not enjoy our meal. So that's about cutlery. Okay, now let's just come to the soup etiquette. Now, when we are offered a soup. Okay, did you all understand the silent codes? They will come in the presentation also for you to go through them again. Okay, so don't worry. Now you make sure that either this spoon is there or these soup spoons are available. Whatever you use, just make sure that you eat soup 6 to 12 direction. Okay, guys, do we eat soup or do we drink soup? Eat. Okay, anybody else? Everybody thinks the same? Okay, ideally eat soup and drinking soup both are correct because when we are having soup in a bowl and mostly there are going to be vegetables in it, so we call it eating soup. Okay, and eating soup is one thing which is mostly used. But suppose I'm having tomato soup in a mug and without the bread croutons. Okay, and then what am I doing? I'm drinking soup from the mug. Right, so that ideally is also not wrong English. Okay, so if you Google it also, it will also say the same thing, that both are right. So basically, but the word which is ideally used is eating soup. All right, so you can use it like that. Now till now whatever we have done with soup has been wrong. Okay, hum abhi tak from childhood what have we done? 12 to 6 aate hain na hum. Okay, what do we do? 12 to 6, but we are always supposed to take it away from our body. Away from our body. So जो वो बात बोलते हैं कि spill नहीं करना चाहिए, तो that is why we are doing 6 to 12 and then we wipe it and then we are having it from the side. Okay, and sometimes you know what people do, जब when the last bit is left, वो यूं वो टेढ़ा भी करते हैं और उसको यूं यूं इतनी से आवाज भी करते हैं. So even if you have to tilt it, so tilt it away from the body. Okay, not towards your body, away from the body, but very little, and then just quickly take the last bite and wipe it and then have it. Okay, so you do all this. The logic is this, that it should not spill on you. Another one thing which is a faux pas of soup etiquette is a lot of people bend their body so much closer to the bowl. Are girega, 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 and then they come so close. So don't duck your head close to the food. Get the food close to your mouth. Okay. Halka sa bend karna is fine, but not like this ki soup bowl ke ekdam pass mein ghus gaye. A lot of people do that. You know, my dad till date does that. So every time I look at him and I'm like, Papa, nahi girega. Piche, piche, piche. Okay. So that happens. A lot of people do that. Just make sure you don't do that mistake. Don't eat it like this. You rather do 6 to 12, and then you gently wipe and then place it in the mouth from here, like this, and not like this. Okay, this is also a very common mistake. Okay, so these soup spoons, you don't put the entire thing in the mouth. Okay, like the one thing which is very common with people. इतना तो सूप गर्म ही नहीं होता जितना हम उसको फूक मारते हैं, and then we have it like that. Okay, which is again not the right etiquette to be followed. So please make sure we are not doing these mistakes, right? No. So I'm having soup in 6 to 12 direction. In case very less portion is left, then I tilt it. The reason why we do 6 to 12 is when I tilt the bowl also, it's tilted towards that side and not towards you, so that you don't end up spilling it on yourself. So we tilt it that side and very gently and very little we tilt. So we finish the soup like this without making noise and having it from this side. Okay, so that's about dining. I'll just share there's a lot of things in the PPT that we can do now. Okay. Okay, so as we were talking about going from outside to inside, that much is clear. All right. Yes. So I was talking in the video about an informal setting and formal setting. So can you see this? All this was there in my setting. Okay. So there was, this is informal setting, and let me quickly get you to formal setting. So you'll see the difference. Now this is formal setting. Okay. In the formal setting, can you see an extra fork? Yes, there is an extra fork, and the number of tines is also less. So generally there are 4 tines in a fork. Now this has 3 tines. Okay, this is not a mandate, but generally for a seafood fork, this is done. Okay, and can you see the number of glasses? The fourth one is the water goblet. First of all is the water closest to you, your plate. Then there is a red wine glass. Okay, I have the red wine glass and the white wine glass. This is the difference. The red wine glass is a broader goblet. White wine is slightly thinner than that. And then there is a dessert wine glass, which is a small glass. Okay, so this, and there is a dessert spoon and dessert fork right at the top. Okay, then there is a bread plate. And can you see the bread knife? The bread knife also, it's diagonally kept there, and the sharper side is towards you. Okay, understood? Like the way I said in a normal, informal or formal setting, can you see the knife on my right hand side? The sharper side of the knife is facing the plate, and in the bread plate also, the sharper side of the knife is towards you. Although there is a difference between the 2 knives. I hope you know that. Can we make out the difference? Yes, this is a sharper knife. So this is a main course knife, and this is a butter knife. Is that okay? I'm sure this much is understandable. Okay, now comes to the equipments. Everybody knows that these, the plates and the cup and the bowls, and these are called crockery. Okay, they're also called the chinaware. And the spoons and fork and knives and everything is the cutlery. Okay, cutlery, which is also called the silverware. Yes. Okay. Now let's come to the course meals. Okay, does everybody understand the concept? If I've gone out and I'm just having 1 course meals, which means I'm just having the main course. Okay, now if I say I'm going to have 2 course meals, then it can be either I'm having a soup or a salad and the main course. It's soup or salad. So then that means 1 is that and 1 is the main course. So it's 2 course meals. Okay, then it can be a 3 course meal like this with a dessert. Then it can be a 4 course meal, 5 course, 6 course. Okay, it can go up till 10 course meals because the British concept says that they get a plate of, those, this thing, the chocolates also in the end. Then they have the tea, coffee also. So they count all of that and it might just go up till the 10 course meals. Okay, ideally what happens is, this is the way it should be served. The meal courses, the first is an appetizer. Okay, second is salad, then comes the soup, then hors d'oeuvres. This is again a French word. These are starters only. This is something like either a seafood, small something into seafoods, or, have you seen people doing those small Monaco biscuits and putting cheese and olive and jalapenos on it and then a toothpick? So these are that kind of starters. Okay, so hors d'oeuvres are those. Then comes sorbet. Anybody understand sorbet? Yes? No? Okay, so till now, whatever we have eaten, okay, so we have different tastes in our mouth. Okay, now we need to clear a palate. Palate is basically the tongue only, the taste. Okay, so we need to clear our palate. How do you clear a palate? By the sorbet. What is sorbet? It's an ice slush drink. Have you ever had orange slush or things like that which are available in the market? So it's like it comes in a small, something like a shot glass. Okay, everybody's seen a shot glass, no? So tequila shot glass, something like that. It comes in that, and it's an ice drink. Okay, so what happens with that ice slush is, pura palate clean ho jata hai. Means there is no taste left. So abhi aapne appetizer, salad, soup, jo bhi liya, uska sab taste gets over. All right. So now your mouth is ready for the main course. This is the only logic. That is why this sorbet is served in an, very fancy restaurants. Recently, where did I have it? Okay, has anyone, okay, you all are not from Delhi, so have you ever heard of the Lodhi Hotel in Delhi? Yes, there is a very fancy restaurant called Indian Accent. Okay, so I had the opportunity to go there. Now, I did not order this. This is something that they get before your main course. We did order some snacks. We did order main course. So they got it before the main course because they wanted that before the main course, your palate should be clear. So if you go to a very fine dining, you would find that people serve it like that. This is not a part of the menu that you have to order. Okay, so this is something that they give it as a complimentary by being to such a fancy place. Okay, so entree is again a French word which means the main course. So whatever main course you have ordered, and then later comes the desserts. So everybody understands desserts. We have done the napkin etiquette. Okay, I've purposely put a picture of a man putting a napkin like that because there are people who do this, and this is a complete no-no. Okay. So this is not the right etiquette. I have already spoken to you about how to gently blot your mouth with that index finger within the, you could take it from the open edges of the napkin and then you gently blot it. Okay. And if you're leaving, once you're done with the food, how do you keep your napkin? Okay. This is again very important. If ever somebody tells you to pass salt or pepper, okay, suppose I'm sitting at a host chair and somebody from that side has told me, please, Roshi, pass me some salt. Okay, you never pass one salt or pepper individually. You always pass them together. Okay, because it is said that they are married and you never separate them. Okay, this is part of right etiquette. Okay, being the married part is just to make you remember that you don't separate them. All right. Another very important thing, also don't taste food ever. Don't season food ever without tasting it. Okay. There are Punjabis in the house? No one?
No.
No one? Oh, I'm the only Punjabi who's going to bitch about Punjabis. Okay, what do Punjabis do? Sweet corn soup hai. Are ye to bada hi fikka lage yaar. Ye to kya, isme to kuch hai hi nahi. And they look at the soup and then they start putting the soya, the chili, the vinegar, everything. Then why are you ordering sweet corn soup? It is supposed to be that way, right? Okay, so the thing is, never season food without tasting it because it is considered a kind of insult to the chef. Okay, so there is an authenticity to it. Like we go and order Italian in a very authentic Italian restaurant, the taste would be very different. But in a very non-chota tuck shops and all, you go and order pasta, which will be like a Punjabi pasta. So itna spicy or sab karke banayenge, which is not Italian authentic. So what I'm trying to say is, so that's an insult to the chef. So first you should always taste the food and then think of seasoning it. All right. Okay, fork and knife, I think I've already told you. Just go through the PPT once today. I'm going to send it to you so you can have a look at it. These are the wrong ways of holding the cutlery, which I already mentioned in the video also. Okay, one very important thing, you cannot have your elbows on the table while having the meal. Okay, it is not considered right etiquette. Okay, it is very, very important that the elbows should not be on the table. The maximum thing that you can do is, okay, I don't know if you can look, you can have your wrist on the table. Okay, so having the wrist on the table is like, okay, once I'm pausing, okay, and I am discussing business with someone, so I can have my wrist can touch the table and I'm like discussing business and whatever is happening, but I can't do this. Okay, so on the dining table, you never have your elbows right there. Okay, so noodles, okay, I did not mention that in the video. One important thing is you take a fork and you twirl a bunch of noodles or spaghetti like this, and then you take it in the mouth. And sometimes if you're not able to do that, there is one other thing. Okay, I'm doing this in the air, but you have to do it all over the plate. Okay, so you take a bunch of noodles or the spaghetti to one corner, and what you do is on the spoon, just to show you I've turned this, you can twirl it with the help of the spoon. Okay, so the same thing, let's assume we are doing it on the plate. Okay, so you are like twirling it like this. I don't know if it's visible. Okay, I should have put this also in the video. That is correct. You can do that. You can just take the help of a spoon and then kind of twirl it. Okay, it is very wrong. I don't know, something came, slurpy noodles koi aaye the, and the ad was you take a noodle and you slurp the rest of the noodle there. No, that's not right etiquette. Okay, they're just trying to sell their product and making the kids get attracted by this concept, but that is not the right etiquette. So the entire noodle should be on the fork, or maximum, even if a strand is left, not more than this, you know, a little bit strand, which you can cover up and it can come in the mouth. Okay, eating with chopsticks is the completely different story. I don't know if you know it. When you eat with chopsticks, you eat noodles like this, and then the rest, जो नीचे आ रहे हैं noodles, उनको दोबारा से पकड़ के chopsticks से वापस डालते हैं. So eating with chopsticks, noodles, and eating with the fork, they are two different things. All right, and I'm extremely sorry. It's an online class. I wish it was that you were physically present here. I would have given you a demo on chopsticks also. It is very, very difficult to make you learn chopsticks offline, because I literally have to make you hold the chopsticks. One thing you can do is how to eat food with chopsticks. There are a lot of YouTube videos available. Get a pair of chopsticks, start eating. Okay, one very important thing, don't eat noodles in the first go. If you're learning to eat with chopsticks, start eating saute vegetables or something like that. Okay, where there is something to take a grip on. Okay, so if there are small vegetables, there's a small broccoli or a cauliflower or something, or a potato or something, it's easier to learn to eat with chopsticks. Okay, one are very much comfortable by the holding position, then you reach noodles. Okay, and that is important. All right. Okay, let's come to the bread etiquette. Bread etiquette. Now, bread that I'm talking about, it's not about the breakfast buffet. Okay, so when you are having bread in breakfast, you tend to have a toasted bread from the toaster, and then you apply butter and all that. That is something else. I'm talking about the bread which is being served with Italian food. Okay, it comes in a basket. So how do you eat it? You take a portion of it or one piece, you pick it up, you put it on your bread plate. Everybody saw where the bread plate was? Okay, with my dinner ka plate ke upar left mein, there was a small plate. There you put it. Okay, and butter will come in a bowl, generally cubes mein kata hota hai. So you take butter and you again put it in your plate. Okay, and then bread ko apne with hands, you're going to take a piece of it, a bite that you can manage in the mouth. Take just one bite, take the knife, put butter on it, and put that entire piece there. Okay, so आप जैसे वो garlic bread आती है, that is something else जिसपे butter लगा हुआ है, then you're taking half bite and holding it in the hand is fine. But when you are when you are served a basket full of breads, this is how you eat. You put a piece of bread in your plate and then take a bite size, apply butter and then take it. Just see this presentation, it will be clearer. You never do this. अगर कोई बन शेप में आएगा, उसको ओपन करा, बीच में से कट करा, पूरे में बटर लगाया और बैठ के खा रहे हैं, नो, दैट्स नॉट राइट. अगर बन शेप में भी है ब्रेड, तब भी आप उसका बाइट साइज लोगे, एक ही bite size पे हल्का सा butter लगाओगे and then you'll put it in your mouth. Is that okay? Everybody knows now how to eat the bread which comes with pasta and all. One bite at a time, and you apply butter also on one bite at a time. Okay? Soup etiquette, I think I've already told you in the video. And let's come to pizza. Okay, pizza, everybody, it's absolutely fine to hold the pizza by the hand and eat. Can you see the second picture in the middle one? It is fine to fold the pizza also like that and then to eat, because but for this, it's either a very thin crust, agar wo, hand tossed hota hai, which is a slightly thicker, then you can't fold it. Only for thin crust, you can easily fold it and then you put it in the mouth. And of course, it is absolutely right to have a pizza with knife and fork also. If you're just asking me what is the right etiquette, it is the right etiquette to eat. Okay, let me come to desserts. Okay, which desserts, don't look there, which desserts are to be eaten by spoon and fork? Now you've read it, hai na? Yes. Do you know the difference? Yes, if it's a custard, suppose it's a chocolate mousse, how will you eat? Obviously with a spoon. And if it's a pastry or something little more firm, then you use a fork. Okay, have you seen these days dessert spoon and fork comes, which is a combined version. It's in the form of a spoon, but upar se usme cuts hote hain. So it's like a dessert spoon and a fork. It is also on what they serve you. Okay, cutlery mein. So that is also dependent on that na. Agar suppose mujhe fork hi diya gaya hai, then I have to eat no matter what the dessert is, I have to have with fork. So that is why they've made these concepts, jisme spoon cum fork combined kar dete hain. Okay. Okay, guys, who's going to tell me how to eat Indian food with the right etiquette? Nishiana, come on.
We use our hands.
Yes, we do use our hands, because जब तक हम hands use नहीं करते हैं, हमको what do we say? स्वाद नहीं आता, है ना? Okay. If now I am just going to tell you what is the right etiquette to eat, whether you follow it or not is up to you. We take the chapati, we roll it and we hold it in the left hand. Okay. So I take a bite of the chapati, then I take spoon in my right hand and I take a bite of the vegetable, whether it's in the bowl or in the plate, and eat. This is the right etiquette. Okay. Abhi is already smiling ki ma'am ye kya kara rahe ho? Okay. Suppose now you've gone out and there is butter naan or a lachha paratha. Can you roll it and hold it in the left hand? No. So then what is the logic? You take a bite of the bread, you eat the bread, and then by the right hand, you are having the vegetable. Okay. I am telling you, this is the right etiquette which is to be followed. People don't do it, especially Indians don't do it. It's fine. The only thing that you need to take care of is when you're taking a bite of chapati and you dip it into dal, at least the dal should not come on your fingers tips. That is the bare minimum you can try, right? So you eat the way Indians do, the way we like food, the way we enjoy food. Take a bite, dip it into the vegetable, but at least don't get your fingers dirty. Okay. So, yes, even if you get them dirty, the napkin is always there. But then again, you're not following the right etiquette there. All right. Yes. And similarly, for rice. So it is not the Indians, na, because ये British concept है mostly. So वो राजमा चावल तो खाते नहीं है. So वो चावल और राजमा को mix करके खा रहे हैं. They eat rice and also this separately. One bite of rice, then one bite of the vegetable, whatever the vegetable is. So they don't like mix, stir and like that. They don't eat it. So that is the etiquette which is said to be followed, but nobody does, especially in India. Okay. So now let's come to the codes. I did tell you these codes in the video, but you can just still have a look at the presentation. I think you'll have a better idea. Okay, this is something I did not mention in the video. The Britishers generally keep the forks upside down. So the tines are matlab ulta. Okay, so this is a British way. They have a logic of doing this. Now, who's going to tell me buffet etiquette? Rashi. What do people do wrong in the shadis?
The very first mistake I find is, taking up everything you want. Like, I mean, you do not even know what you want to eat, what do you want to taste or anything, and they'll just serve one vegetable to another and all the breads and everything in all together.
Very good. So that happens not really in the weddings, but that happens like when you have gone for a stay outside and you've got a
Yeah.
breakfast buffet included in it. तो हम क्या करते हैं वहां पे हमें छोले भटूरे भी डाल लेंगे, हम पराठा भी डाल लेंगे, हम इडली सांभर भी डाल लेंगे, everything in the plate in one go, which is not the right etiquette to be followed. You never heap your plate like that. You have paid for it. You are entitled to eat as many times as you want. So get small portions. Get probably one, cuisine, get chole bhatura, finish it, then go get a parantha with curd, then go get a idli sambar. But, people don't understand. They get everything there. It's visually really bad. Okay. That is one thing. Another thing which people do wrong is when they are waiting in that queue, this especially at the weddings. तो सैलेड डाला, इतनी लंबी क्यू है, तब तक हम सैलेड ही टेस्ट कर लेते हैं कि कौन सा वाला अच्छा है यार, दोबारा कौन आएगा लाइन में, चलो दोबारा डाल के ले जाएंगे, राइट? दैट इज अ कंप्लीट no. You should not be eating while you're standing in a queue. Okay. Another very important thing is, have you seen the huge serving spoons which are there in the dishes? So when you're serving something to yourself, people don't bother. Last class, what did I say? You need to be considerate to follow the right etiquette, right? तो हम क्या करते हैं, हमारी दाल डाली, उसके बाद स्पून डाल दिया, वो स्विमिंग कर रहा है स्पून पूरी दाल में, पूरी डिश में. We are not bothered that the serving spoon should be kept below. I'm sure they give you, a bowl or a plate where you can put the serving spoon. Some people are just not considerate enough for the others who are coming. So वो अपना डाल के बाकी सब जाए बाहर में, right? Which is again very wrong. Okay, and we stand so close to each other. Sometimes we bump into each other. मेरी प्लेट में सारे दाल लगी हुई है साइड में, and उसके ब्लेजर में लगा दी हमने, which is so wrong. Okay, so very small things, but we don't take care of it. Anything else that you can think of? I think more or less I would have mentioned all the points, but yes. Oh yes, another very important thing, especially for breads. People pick up breads and keep it with their hands. Okay, so there are all kinds of people there. Okay, so it's not only you. So at least maintain the, again, very important thing that you need to be considerate for the others. You take a pair of tongs, you pick up the bread that you want naan, you want missi roti, you want whatever, you pick it up, and then with the tongs you can put it in your plate, right? हम लोग हाथ से डाल लेते हैं, maybe the other person is not liking it, उसके बाद the other person in line, he says कि oh shit, इसने हाथ लगा दिया, now I'm not going to eat any of the breads. Maybe so some people have that perception. Let's keep it clean for everyone, right? So these are very basic things that people should do, but I highly doubt it is being followed in India. Okay, that is why we have such classes, and that is why we are doing business. So please learn from us. Okay, just kidding. Why do you think when we are sitting in a restaurant, the waiters generally serve in from the left and they clear from the right? Why does that happen? Yash, are you there? I thought you've probably just left the meeting.
No, ma'am. I'm actually listening. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to cross-check and take an exam also at the end of the session. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, why do you think, Yash, you tell me, why do you think the waiters serve in from the left and they clear the plates from the right?
So that they can face you easily, right? When you are like serving from the this way, you can face if you need anything else, right?
Okay, that's not necessary. It depends where your table is. It depends where you are sitting, in a restaurant. It depends on a lot of things. So it is not really on just that. Actually, the logic is in a very fancy restaurant, in a formal setup that I showed, the glasses are always kept on our right. So the waiters have that tendency that they might just spill your drink or something. So right side से इसलिए नहीं आते हैं. But इंडिया में आप किसी भी रेस्टोरेंट में जाओगे, the first and the foremost point is space constraint. अगर लेफ्ट से जगह नहीं होगी तो वो राइट से आके सर्व कर देंगे. Okay, and you can't be blaming any waiters. भैया आपको एटिकेट नहीं है, आपको लेफ्ट से आना चाहिए था, आप राइट से क्यों आ रहे हो? You can't do that because of the space constraint. People will do that, but this is the way ideally it is supposed to happen. Okay, that is why just clearing is one thing, that they just pick it up and they take it away, so that then the drinks are not disturbed. All right. Passing the food, when we are sitting as a family also at the dining table, we should always pass the food to the right. It's a general rule that should be followed, like everybody passing on to their right, so it can reach in one direction. कोई कुछ सब्जी यहाँ पास कर रहा है, कोई यहीं पास कर रहा है, कोई कुछ हो रहा है. That is not the right way to do it. Okay. I think I've told you more or less about this, that you always taste the food before seasoning it. You take it in small portions, and please don't keep your mouth open while chewing. Don't talk while chewing. I know these are basics, but people don't follow. You know, very simple thing like taking a glass of water. इतनी सारी bite होगी mouth में, they're chewing it and साथ में मुंह खोल के पानी पी रहे हैं. So why should I see what's in your mouth? Why should I see the gross scene? I don't want to. Okay, so you should think about others also while having meals. Beverages, I think this is all self-explanatory, that you use your napkin to blot on your lips. You take a drink only once you're finished with a bite in the mouth. Please don't make bubbles like kids. Okay, don't just take small sips instead of gulping the water. Okay, or a drink. Okay, table manners. Yeah, I have. Okay, one very important thing which should be followed in India. How do you call your waiters? How do you call your waiters?
And by being polite and saying excuse me.
Excuse me is good, but mostly what do we do? Hey, Chodu, idhar aiyo, do dal makhni leke aiyo. Yeah, what do we do? This is not the way to do it. Just remember, you always say, excuse me. Yes, I'm not talking about sitting in a dhaba. Okay, I'm talking about sitting in a restaurant. You just take, just put your hand like this, and it should not go above your forehead, head level. Itna bhi haath raise nahi hona hai. No snapping of the fingers. You just politely call them, excuse me, can you please help me? Can you please get me a menu? Excuse me, could you please get me the check, the bill, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so just be polite enough. They are also just doing their jobs. I don't know why people are so rude to them. They are also just fulfilling their responsibility and trying to earn their living. Okay, table manners. Don'ts. I've told you, don't tuck your napkin here at the shirt. Don't keep your elbows on the table. Don't duck your head to the food, as in soup, I told you. Okay, and don't start till everyone is served. Okay, very important. हम बहुत बार ऐसे करते हैं that the waiters have started getting food and they're serving you. They've served it in your plate and हम quickly बहुत भूख लगी है यार. फटाफट we start eating. You should have the basic manners and the courtesy. Let everybody on the table be served in their plate and then start eating. Okay. Okay, these are very simple things. Okay, there are accidents that bound to happen. It's really okay. Maximum you can do is, if I've ended up spilling a drink, you take your napkin and you keep it there so that the water doesn't go everywhere. Yes, you do call the waiter staff for help. And if you drop some cutlery down, very important. Mere se fork gir gaya niche. Please don't go under the table looking for that cutlery. Please tell the waiter staff to help you with another one. And in fact, they also have instructions. Whenever you leave the table, that is when they take out the cutlery from the below the table. Okay, so you are not going to go down there. Oh yaar, wo gir gaya mujhse, niche jaake dhoond rahe hum. Don't do that. It's okay. Let it be there. It is their job. They will do it in the end. All right. Okay. Another very, very important thing I wanted to talk about: drinks. Let me tell you a little bit about glasses and toasting. Okay, everybody knows about drinks. Alcohol by volume, ABV, everybody understands? Okay, who all are drinkers here? Nobody? 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 Nobody?
Casual
Tasted?
Casual.
Yeah? Casual. Yash, nothing?
I'm only wine sometimes.
Only wine sometimes. Okay, I'll just tell you the important things. Okay. First and foremost, everybody knows, I just told you a red wine glass and a white wine glass, the difference. Okay, tell me, what is champagne?
It's a carbonated wine.
Yes, it is also a sparkling wine. Okay, so champagne, everybody has seen a champagne glass. Okay, now I just want to tell you very, very basics, which are very important. Okay, those basics are that how do you hold a glass? Okay, now how is champagne served? Chilled. Okay, have you seen it comes in an ice bucket? Everybody knows that. Okay, now why do we hold these glasses by the stem?
Ma'am, because ma'am, with a hand temperature, the champagne can.
Oh, so he's not a casual drinker. He knows it all.
Ma'am, I have done.
Okay.
I have studied for it, ma'am. Hotel management.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, relax. I just like to pull everyone's leg. Relax. You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. You hold the glass by the stem because the temperature should not get spoiled. If I hold the glass like this, what will happen? The temperature of the champagne would get spoiled.
The temperature.
Yes. Similarly, white wine. White wine is also served cold. Yes. So white wine is also supposed to be held by the stem. But now the ladies are very fond of red wine. Red wine red wine is served at normal temperature, room temperature. So red wine can be held like this. And wine ka wo jo steps hote hain, that is what are followed in this. So what do? What do? You take a
Ma'am,
side.
first we see.
Take a side. Yes. If there is a light there, then I see it there in the light. And then you swirl, you smell, you sip, and serve on. You do this. So that is the thing, that those are wine tasting steps. Now, red wine is the only wine where we give you the liberty of holding the glass any which way you want. Ideally, any stem glass should be held by the stem. But because it is served at room temperature, and because people take a lot of time to finish this much wine also, they're dancing, they're enjoying, and they don't want to finish it off like a drink. So that is why we give you the liberty to hold it any which way you want. Okay. Rashi, your parents are not going to kill me for giving all this information?
No, not at all. I'm not at home anyway.
Okay, great. Very, very good. Okay, let's come to, you can just go through this PPT, and if there is anything that we can discuss, because it just talks about the kind of glasses, what are the brandy glass, what is whiskey glass, what is a beer glass, okay, then what is a margarita and a martini glass. So this is a very basic knowledge, but something that you should know, I think. And a shot glass, and what is a goblet, how does it look like? Okay, one very important thing that I forgot is toasting. Okay, what do you mean by toasting? What do you mean by toasting? You haven't seen English movies? Let me raise a toast. People do that? Yes. Okay. Hi guys, let me raise a toast. And then they do this. Okay. First of all, this is not to be done. जिसके भी घर में बैठे हो, वो उसकी क्रॉकरी को कुछ भी हुआ तो वो इसी से मारेगी आपको. Okay, so don't do that. It is not the right step, but you can just raise a toast for someone and say, okay, let's raise a toast. It's almost 12. Let's because it's a new year starting or whatever. Or if you have called somebody, invited somebody home, and uski promotion hui hai, and you're celebrating that moment, and you're saying, I want to raise a toast for Abir for being promoted. Okay, Abir is very happy. What organization are you working? And I promote you in my thoughts, Abir. Okay, so I raise a toast for Abir. Now, listen, the important point is, when I'm raising a toast for you, Abir, okay, so everybody, whatever drink they're holding, whether it is water, whether it's a hard drink, whether it's a soft drink, everybody raise their glasses. Okay, to Abir, everybody says that, cheers, and then everybody's having that drink. But Abir, because I raised a toast to you, you have to wait. You don't drink your own toast. Never drink a toast to oneself. Okay, then you raise the glass and then you nod to kind of thank the person who's raised the toast. But once everybody has taken a sip, that is when you go ahead. Understood? So that is one difference. Okay, another very important thing. Do you know how the concept of cheers started? Cheers. Like we do cheers. Yeah. This started with the kings. Okay, that time they used to have in those what do you say, tambe ke glass and all that, they used to have drinks in those na
Tumbler, ma'am.
So they used to do that cheers, zor se cheers karte the wo. The idea was कि cheers करने पे मेरे drink आपके glass में splash करे और आपकी drink मेरे glass में splash करे. Why? Because they used to think that they are feasting with other kings. कोई मुझे poison कर रहा है तो उसको वापस poison मिल गया. अगर वो मेरी ड्रिंक में मेरे को पॉइजन कर रहा है टू टेक अवे माय किंगडम, सो उसको वापस पॉइजन मिल गया. ओके, दिस इज अ गुड कॉन्सेप्ट, समथिंग यू शुड नो. दिस इज हाउ चीयर्स स्टार्टेड. बट अब इतनी जोर से चीयर्स नहीं करना है, क्योंकि अब ना वो क्रॉकरी है ना कुछ. आप यू एंड अप you breaking your crockery and nothing else. Okay, this is a fun fact, something that I thought that you should know. Okay, I am more or less done with it. So any questions so far? Yes, anything? Okay, I am going to forward you the PPTs. I will give it to Swadha. She will forward it to you, and you can just have a look at them. If there is any doubt, we are not meeting next week. We are meeting next to next week. Next week is Ishani ma'am's class and Masha ma'am's class. Okay, so I will be there back with some other soft skill topics. Okay, any difficulty in any of these PPTs, any questions that you have that come to your mind, then do ask me that later. All right. I hope you all enjoyed the session today. It was fun. It is very difficult to do a dining etiquette online. I wish you were physically present here. It would have been more easy for me, but I did try to do justice. I especially made that video to show you. Okay. So anything else that you would like to know, just let me know. All right. So
Okay.
are we done for the day?
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
ma'am.
much.
Hi, ma'am.
Thank
for the
you.
presentation.
Excuse me.
Most welcome. See you. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes,
Ma'am,
yes.
so sorry. Actually, there was some network issue on my end. So I was unable to actually view the videos and all. So
Oh.
will it possible for you to share the videos as well?
Okay, Chanchal, I am going to share the PPTs. Just go through them once. In case there is an issue, then let me explain it to you separately. I cannot share the videos. I also have to speak to Dr. Ishani once on the same. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So I
Actually,
will
I
share the
just,
PPTs. Just go
yeah,
through
sure,
them
no
and then
worries.
let me know. All right.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, you too.